Hello and welcome to Coherent Ramblings. I am Pepin, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about memetic wormholes. Now, what is a memetic wormhole? What's a hole in general? That's a great question. So, I define a hole as there's some sort of continuous object, so it could be like a piece of paper right here, and that piece of paper is continuous, and then a hole is a rupture in that piece. So, greatest example of all time? A door. A door is a hole in the wall. People think it's something more, something less, but no, it's a hole in the wall. This mouth, hole in my skin. It's a hole in the skin, and the skin is allowing air to come in, and it has a function, has a use, but not all holes have use, because I have a hole in my underwear. I'm not wearing underwear right now. If you want me to wear underwear, I can, but I'm not going to wear it right now. But if you want me to, I will. But, it's like, sometimes when you get those holes in your underwear, you wonder, do things travel through them? And this is where I'm going with this, because there were some things proposed by some physicists called wormholes, and wormholes, they allow things to travel across space instantaneously, just like that. So imagine we have like a piece of paper here, and usually if you're at point A, you have to go to point B, you have to go through all this space right here. So go but what a wormhole allows you to do is it's a warping of space. So space warps like this. Of course, it'd be three-dimensional in reality, but this is how things work. And ooh, hey, now these 2 points are connected. So essentially, I could travel from here to Alabama within a second with a wormhole. Now, this was proposed by Einstein, not really. His theories kind of gave credence to the idea of wormholes, but he didn't actually believe they could exist and they're really unstable, blah, blah, blah. But, this is important because this connects to memes. How? Oh, that's a great question. So let me get into this. Pepe, the frog. He started out as just Pepe the frog. People think about rare Pepes now, but rare Pepe was not always rare Pepe. Rather, there is a memetic lineage that led up to rare Pepe. And he started out just as a frog in some sort of comic. Maybe inspired by another meme of Kermit the Frog, or maybe just cartoons in general, or maybe frogs, because frogs are kind of memes in themselves. So he got famous for this one line where he said, "He was a good man," and that line made him a meme. Now, this meme became something more because he kept on replicating and mutating, because no meme can kind of stay the same, because this is how memes die. But rather put it this way, so the memes that don't mutate to survive tend to die, whereas the memes that do mutate to survive, they end up living. So Pepe mutated, and he became more and more rare. And then we have rare Pepe. Now, Pepe went beyond that. He went plus ultra, and he became something in of itself. Some people think Pepe is a symbol of hate. I think he is just a meme. He is a meme, and he is great, just like Harambe. And the point I'm getting here is, imagine people had their dicks out before Harambe died. That would be a kind of strange thing, because Harambe, the whole dicks out thing, that came first. It came after Harambe. It would not make logical sense for us to have our dicks out before Harambe died, or even being aware of Harambe, because most people didn't know about Harambe. I didn't know about Harambe. So the fact that people have their dicks out before Harambe, that doesn't seem physically possible. It seems like you're getting from point A to point B without the necessary logical kind of space to go across. And how I describe this is, you're traveling across meme space. So when we talk about memetic lineages, think about traveling through some sort of ether, some sort of space. Einstein disproved the ether, but this is just an example here. So we're traveling across meme space here, and hey, we have to go through all these things to get to, dicks out for Harambe, or for rare Pepe, or for this, or for that. And this is generally true, except in the case of memetic wormholes. So what a memetic wormhole does is just like a physical wormhole. It allows you to get from point A to point B instantaneously. And you might be thinking, well, that's not a thing. How does this equate to reality? Well, it is. So think about some music which is super innovative, something which is super beyond, say, Jimi Hendrix, or maybe Pink Floyd, or maybe the Beatles. Or you can even go into a certain classical era, like Bach. Or you can talk about ideas. So Newton Galileo, he came up with the idea of calculus, and also the idea that the moon went around the earth, and that classical mechanics was a thing. He came up with all that, and all without the aid of computers. I don't know where I was going with that, but without the aid of computers. And this is something that's very, troublesome, because how could one person come up with all that? And the reason is because meme space has no time. Meme space is infinite, and all of the ideas that we gather are through the meme space. We are pulling into it, and we are obtaining that sort of knowledge. And this is prophecy. This is insight. This is what meditation allows people to actually tap into, is the fourth dimensional meme space. And this is to say that Newton, that Pink Floyd, that Buddy Rogers, what they were able to do is tap into the meme space and go beyond. They've actually found these memetic wormholes that allowed them to get to places that were beyond the meme space they currently inhabited. And this is what led to the technological revolution that we are experiencing today. This is why we are to the place. Do you think we could have done this on our own? No, we skipped ahead. We found memes that weren't physically possible to get to, but we found a way to get to them. And this was the exploitation of meme wormholes, or memetic wormholes, or what we like to call other things, and things and things and things and things and things and things and things. And it's kind of like vaginas, because it's like there's certain kind of memes where they replicate in a certain kind of way, like vaginas, because vaginas you can't just say once, you have to say twice, at least twice, or 3 times, maybe 4 times, because it's not like dick, because when you say dick, now I'm saying it twice, but you could say dick just once, so that guy was such a dick. That's the end of the sentence. But if you say vagina, you have to bring up vagina again. You can't say, oh man, my vagina's itchy. You can't just say that. You have to now say, oh man, I wish I had that cream for my vagina. Like there has to be another follow-up. There's like another thing. So this is the granular study of memetics, why certain memes replicate and why the others don't, or different strategies of replication. So dick is a very small word. It's, very just snappy, just boom, dick, dick, dick. And it doesn't need to be said very much. And the word vagina is kind of tough. It's kind of like vagina. So when you say vagina, it has to actually be repeated a couple of times to really get into people's minds, because it's just a bit longer, a bit more fancy. But next episode, I'm going to cover a topic which might be near and dear to many people's hearts. And this topic will be very controversial. It will be intriguing. It will be something amazing that we can do together as people, as humans, as worshippers of the memes, people who are inspired, who live their day-to-day lives transmitting, receiving, and propagating what they determine to be the being of be. You guys have a great day. Next episode, we're going to talk about cunt.